Today we're in Da Nang at the Nobu Da Nang Sales Center for a very special occasion. We're going to get to interview the founders of Nobu and its leadership and talk about Vietnam and our projects here. Maybe we'll just cover old ground just to get it on tape here, but you know, Chef, tell us how this all got started, because you know you have a fascinating personal story of your life in Japan post-war, living in Peru, finding your way to America, starting in Alaska, and a lot of ups and downs. But I'd love to hear sort of your story.
Maybe I'm a very lucky person because you know my life to so far anything up and down. But first I met Meir and Bob, then so we start 30 years ago down in New York. Then, you know, they support all the restaurants, even to me also. Then good partners, you know, it's like my philosophy. It's always people try their best, always give us chance for the next chance. So Bob gave to me the huge opportunity to me because, you know, my first restaurant's Matsuhisa 1987, and very small, only 38 seat. So after, in like 150 seat Nobu, first to New York, then immediately this restaurant success. And then after the first London, you know, now we have more than 50, 60 restaurants around the world. So means, but myself always try my best. I don't want to play game to my life. I don't want to easy way to my life. And, you know, they understand. That's why I'm a very lucky person. So that's why I think, so we are here.
And I always thought of it as, I know you are the true avant-garde of sushi and Japanese food around the world, but in the beginning, really, you know, a sushi restaurant is the hands of the chef, right? I always thought to myself, I think Chef Nobu didn't really want to go because you have to be there. It's hard to be in New York and LA at the same time. So I'm really glad that Bob eventually made you an offer that you couldn't refuse.
You know, Nobu's names inspired all over the world. And also I'm another lucky because I have good teams, you know, good partners, good teams, them. So they work so hard. Even I traveled in the 10 months here, so it's them. You know, always I like to see customers, how they eat in the restaurant. I like to watch people eating, smiling, it's laughing. You know, the laughing, so noise, the best background music, modern music for me. And I like to see happy moment. You know, I like to see all the happy. So they give us happy to me. That's why I'm here.
Bob, do you remember your first time walking into Matsuhisa in Beverly Hills?
Yeah, of course. I went in with Roland Jaffe. He directed me in the mission, and
Roland Jaffe.
Roland Jaffe, yeah. And so he said, let's go to this restaurant. I know what I want to. And so I went. I said, this is great. And so I asked Nobu, after being there a while, if you ever want to open a restaurant in New York, let me know, seriously. But to what you said, there were not, I've eaten in Japanese restaurants in New York and London and other places. They were never what he was doing. What he was doing was so special. I said, there's no doubt in my mind that it can't work. And so it was just a matter of getting it to happen.
I'd like just to add that actually Nobu has changed the Japanese culinary by making the special dishes which were not traditional Japanese. In Japan, in the beginning, they were criticizing him because they're so conservative, but the world loved it, and of course, almost every restaurant, you name it, is copying Nobu's dishes. But Nobu says, it's okay if they copy me, but they don't have my heart.
Yeah, very happy to be.
But do you think your experience, particularly in Peru and living outside of Japan, like Meir said, you know, Japan is an island, and I always think of island countries, and islands have a very closed culture. But there's only one way of doing things. That if you do things differently, as Meir said, you're criticized, you're seen as a pariah or a traitor to your culture. Did you go through that?
Yeah, in the base, you know, I love cooking, and you know, so always I say kokoro, right? Kokoro means heart. So any kind of business, even like the acting and architect, music, in cookings, even like the photographers, have to be with heart. Otherwise, never to give to like my passion to the somebody. You know, I love cooking, and also again, I started cooking, so a lot of people support me. So including this guy, and you know, then Bob and Meir have the good palate. You know, they like the good food. So it means I cook, then ask the Bob, oh, love it, I love it. You know, so it means this is the best comment, the best moment for me, this comment. Then I'm so much excited. Okay, next time, let's make another one. You know, always give it to like a more, my motivations up to up.
Yeah, I know. You know, being a chef, or as Bob is professionally as an actor, you're an artist, and you add something to. You know, of course, he learned how to do sushi and Japanese cuisine, but he added to it his own creation. Yeah. He took things. He's still creating all the time. When we go to a new country, like here, yeah, I'm sure he'll create some local ingredients into his.
Well, I'm looking forward to our meals later today.
Yeah, and if it's successful, it'll be all over the world. So, you know, and Bob is a creator too. You know, he creates his own. You know, even though a director is, you know, writer, but he has to add his own vision to the part. You know, it's not
cook.
just.
But he doesn't cook.
But he has good instincts, though.
But he doesn't cook, no. But he's an actor, too. He's both. He's a chef and an actor.
He doesn't tell anybody this, but he recites monologues to himself while he's cooking.
He know how to shake and how to shake.
I was going to ask you, you know, because you are the gifted actor. Who among this group would you say is the next best actor? It sounds like Chef Nobu, huh?
Well, when I did Casino, when we first met, I introduced Nobu to Marty to be in it, and he had a part.
Oh, you're right. I can remember him being in Casino.
Well, I've been lucky, and that's it. I've been lucky. Meeting Nobu, Jane Rosenthal, what I do with Tribeca, and my partner Ira Drucker with the Greenwich Hotel. I've just been lucky meeting people and feeling that they're right for the project. And as I get to know them more and work with them even more, I see that I was even more right than I thought.
No, it's great to hear. You know, look, the other thing that I really love about your partnership and friendship at Nobu is just the diversity of your experiences. Trevor, you, and Struan are Englishmen who've worked all around the world. Bob is the quintessential New Yorker. Chef Nobu, obviously born and made in Japan, but really influenced by the US, Peru, and all its experiences. And Meir himself from Tel Aviv, coming to a place like Los Angeles. In some ways, Los Angeles is this core of diversity where all of you have gotten to sort of meet, understand, exchange ideas. How do you think that's been a part of Nobu's DNA as a business, Nobu Hospitality?
Yeah, I think, look, I think it's like any business. I mean, in the restaurant business, to exist for 30 years is something that is very special. Yeah. Because, you know, a lot of restaurants come and go, and Nobu has existed for 30 years. And I always say that's the great thing about Nobu, it stands the test of time. And that says something for, you know, the quality of what Nobu is. But I think ultimately it's like any business. You know, like as I say, Bob had the instinct as well. Nobu was a game changer at the time. Meir came in, and everybody plays a different part in the whole creation of something that is special. So so you need that. And I think that you can't create that in a boardroom. You know, a corporation tries to do a lifestyle brand, and you know they have board meetings and so forth, but that isn't creating a brand. And that brand, as I say, comes from the heart. And
I can tell you a little bit about Trevor. So Trevor was for many years with the Hyatt, and then I don't know exactly, but he started to work for the Hard Rock Hotel, a Hard Rock restaurant, which was owned by the Seminole Indian, Native American in Miami. So that, and he and Struan started the Hard Rock Hotels, which were never. It was a restaurant that was a burger, mainly like a burger joint all over the world. And he started. So when we met in San Diego, and Bob had this idea, I said, "Why don't we do our own hotels?" I spoke to Trevor and Trevor said, "I think Nobu is a better brand to develop into a hotel than where I am now at the Hard Rock." He said, "I'm coming over," and that's how we started.
And to be honest with you, I mean, people don't know the story, but there was a lot of naysayers with regards to why are you doing hotels, and it's not going to work, and this and that, and you just have to believe, and you know you have to go through tough times to get to where you are.
Yeah, you have when you do business, you have positive, you have negatives. One of the big negative was in the first restaurant when I spoke to people, and we said we are opening. Actually, Bob came up with the idea. I have to say, because the restaurant in Beverly Hills is called Matsuhisa, and I said, why don't we call it Matsuhisa, because it's already established. And he said, "No, I think I'm imitating you a little bit. Yeah, why don't we call it Nobu? His name is Nobu. Let's do it as Nobu."
It's Nobuyaki is his full name. So
I said, let's call it Nobu. And he said, okay, okay, fine, let's call it Nobu. But opening in Tribeca, everybody says, "You crazy? Nobody's gonna go down there. It's too far. Nobody's gonna." He said, "Don't worry, they'll come." This kind of food. And when we opened, of course, we had like 300 people on a waiting list every day. So and then a store next door opened up, and said, and so we took it to expand and do another Nobu, but first come, first served, without reservation. So yeah, and how do we gonna call it? And he said, the one next door, how are you going to call it? He said, why don't I call it Nobu Next Door? That's how the came up. He's very good with names, Bob, seriously. Then we didn't do it, but then another store opened up around the corner from Nobu. And remember, we wanted to put a bar, because both restaurants didn't have a bar. So we had to send customers to wait for a table to another restaurant, to Tribeca Grill, actually, to have a drink until the table is going to be ready. So we wanted to take this place around the corner. So how are you going to call this? But he said, Nobu around the corner. So I remember that. Yeah, it's funny, but it's good. I think it's good names.
It's simple. With the Greenwich Hotel, I don't want to go up, but we were looking for names and Tribeca and this and that and the history of Tribeca and all that. And we had lists and this and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm saying, wait, why don't we just, it's on, we lost the Tribeca Hotel to another name for a hotel, that name. And I said, it's on Greenwich Street, let's call it the Greenwich. It's so simple. It's in the style of the Greenwich, a touch of like an English feel and so on. Why not? It's so simple.
But how did you come up with either sashimi new style or today your hamachi jalapeno is copied everywhere. I mean, it's so simple, but so genius. I mean, where did some of these ideas come from?
All of my signature dish has a story. Example that you mentioned, the new style sashimi. So beginning, we have the menu, but nobody asked from the menu. Everyone come to me.
They want you to do.
So please make me anything you want. Because only 30 8 seats. So one day, so one lady came to exactly say, no, please. Then I make 1, 2, then like a very fresh halibut, so fluke, white fish. This is the Japanese technique. So slice very thin, put it on the plate, make the beautiful presentations, right? So then sauce on the side. So send to the table, okay, ready? So today we have very fresh halibut. Try it with this sashimi too. So she said, oh, so sorry, the chefs, I cannot eat raw fish. So then I can say no, okay? I don't want to say the please eat it. But okay, then I take back, I was holding the display. So went to the kitchen, how can I do? So then, so see the saute pan has olive oil, so start very hot, start the burning, not burning, just start smoke little. So then idea come to this moment, okay, sauce put on the sashimi, tap the sashimi, put the hot olive oil, slightly is cook. So means like I just cook the surface, right? Then after cooked a little, not raw fish anymore, even like a 2-3% cooked the fish, I send back to lady. Now she must eat it because not raw fish. She tried 1 bite, so 2 bite, finally eat all. Do you know why? Because she never eat raw fish. So means raw fish means fishy taste, smell bad. But I come from Japan, Japanese cultures eat all over the country, anywhere that eat sashimi, right? So now, after this one, so she start eat raw fish. So, but for the sashimi means raw fish. Then I like to cooked a little bit. That's why the menu names New Style Sashimi. So now also this one inspired all over the world.
Well, you tell that story that really resonates with me when you say kokoro, because I'll be frank, if I were the chef and someone came in and said that to me, I'd be like, you're at a sushi restaurant. We eat raw fish. Please leave.
Yeah.
But like you said, you as a chef, it's the heart. Like you said, even the most difficult customers sometimes where you're like, I'm going to find something that serves you.
Yeah.
And this goes back to, I think, Bob's instinct of this is at the heart of what the restaurant was.
Yeah.
But this is at the heart of hospitality, right? Like, what does the guest want? Is this something you saw early on when Bob talked about this?
What I saw was, what is a hotel? A hotel is supposed to be great food, great design, great service. So a lot of hotels you go in and they don't have great food, they don't have great service, and they don't have a great design. And if you go to a Nobu restaurant, it had everything. And you said, why can't you translate that and put it into a hotel? And although a restaurant, we always say a restaurant's like a 3-hour experience, you've just got to translate it now into a 24/7 experience within a hotel. And then you bring the brains to come and decide how we do that. But like you said about the design, and Meir gets involved, he's passionate about the design, and then you do the first one and it works.
I kind of learned as we went along. I learned a little about the business, which I didn't know anything about, but I learned as we went along. So it used to be that hotels never had good food in the restaurant that they had. You can have breakfast, but customers stay in the most luxury hotels, whatever it is. For dinner, they go out. They never stay in a hotel. So people start, some owners, said, look at this, like Bia Song was the first one at the Metropolitan Hotel, where he came to New York. He negotiated with us to bring Nobu to London. He had a hotel. We put Nobu, and then people couldn't get in, so they had to take a room in the hotel in order to be able to get a table. That's right. So, and then it became like a hotel that has good food. And so other hotels start calling. Why don't we put in Miami? They put it in Vegas. And then Bob said, why don't we do our own hotel? So, but still, even today, I think most of hotels in the world don't have food that customers that stay in the room will go down there, especially for dinner or lunch. Breakfast, yeah, because where you going to go for breakfast? But
and it translates as well into the residences.
yeah, so we kind of changed the hospitality business, but opening Nobu hotels with great food, great room service food, great, of course, dinner.
Well, as you know, look, I'm so thrilled and honored to be working with all of you because that from the heart authenticity is exactly to your point, Trevor. This wasn't made in a boardroom. This wasn't a consultant who said, oh, we need high service, good food, good hospitality type hotel. This is organic. This is real and authentic from you guys.
What's happening?
The proof was there that the customer was a global customer. Yeah. You know, if people want to go into, you know, hotels, whatever, with a restaurant, and, you know, if you want to touch that global customer, it's got to be a global restaurant.
Yeah. I'll add one last thing that for me is always what I've loved about Nobu is, you know, we go to a lot of very nice places. We have access to certain luxuries, but a lot of the times those experiences, the luxury kind of creates a feeling of exclusion. What I've always loved about Nobu is it's inclusionary. This is something special, but it's for you, it's for everybody. And that warmth of that meal together is really, I think, at the core of what Nobu is, and it's what you guys have built together. That's just fantastic.
So why is that our concept? So my first restaurant opened in 1987, especially America. So they always never like a share, you know, always the individual food. And but I did it because only 38 seats. I like to customer try so many dishes. Example, one sashimi salad, share for 2 or 3 people. You know, rock shrimp the tempura, even share for a couple of people. Or like put the one dish, put the middle of the table, people share. Then next, you know. And of course, it's like between the pandemic, you know, very difficult because, you know, have to be careful. But Nobu start Nobu concept of food, not individual food, and they share. Even though I inspire that like learn from kind of like Chinese food too, but Nobu's food more simple, clean, and tasty. You know, they can try so many dishes come to restaurant. That's why people comfortable to come to us.
The food in the Nobu restaurant is only 50%. The other 50 is the service. Yes. It's very, very important. Nobu sometimes says even 60% is the service. So it's not only the food that Nobu created, it's the service that we created. It's you know, if you go to, I'm always talk about it. If you go to a restaurant and the food is fantastic, but the service is bad, you're not going to go there again, because, you know, the service is great, and it's from the moment you go in until the moment you go out. Because I give you an example. A guy comes in or a couple comes in and they treated very nice. They have a table, they eat dinner, and they love it, and they go out. They said, thank you so much, and they go out to the parking lot. And they're waiting for the car for 45 minutes. The only thing they remember from that evening is that they had to wait 45 minutes for the car. They forget about the food, they forget the service. So everything that we do, we think about the valet, we're talking about the receptionist, how nice they are, not to be mean and rude. Even though we have a lot of times that people come in and said, I have a reservation, except what your name? And they say, well, I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, my assistant called and they start making a big scene. Yeah, it happens also. So we know how to handle them nicely. We're trying to figure out something, but you know, some people are not easy, but service is very, very important in the hotel as well. In the hotel as well.
Good food, good service.
Yeah, good, yeah.
No, I think it goes back to your DNA, chef, of just when you had Matsuhisa, your heart is in it. And I've done some secret shopping. Trevor, I know you set up a lot of the reservations for me, but every single time I've gone, from being greeted the servers are wonderful.
Yeah.
It feels very personalized. That it's not some script that they're coming by. They really want to know what you like, what's the occasion. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, we trained them for a long time until they're ready to serve. So they.
Well, let's have some fun. You guys, I don't know what you guys talk about besides work when you get together, because it sounds like you guys love what you do, but how often do you guys get to be in the same place that's not work related, because you're all so busy?
Listen, you are the coach he came from Miami, he came from New York, he came from London, I came from Los Angeles. Could you imagine?
Well, the most convenient place to meet up then is Da Nang then, right?
Yeah, exactly. We came to meet you from all over the world.
Well, I had one goal on this trip, is to make you guys really fall in love with Vietnam, because I'm so excited, first of all, to be able to do a lot of things I've done, but one of the major things that I love doing is bringing my American experience and what I know and love from America, and Nobu is one of these things, and bring it to Vietnam, because it does, just like your quote from Madonna, when Nobu shows up, that means things are happening, things are changing, and it is amazing that something as simple as what you've done is what attracts global attention to a place like Vietnam. So I'm super excited to be a part of this with you. So
We are the same as well, I mean.
You know, I think the South Asia, it's good for, may I say, good food, good service, right? So service is very important. So, but like South Asian people to service, very nice too. You know, we have a lot of South Asian waitress, and so especially Dubai, Doha, the Middle East, lots Filipinos, Thai, Vietnamese, you know, and a lot of Asian peoples. So I like to, you know, still the Nobu background, the Japanese, means Asians, you know, then I like to use a local product as much possible, then good food, then like great service. So it means I'm looking for in the Vietnam like this way. Not good food, good service. Good food, great service.
that's right. That's right. Do you guys ever have time to get together and just...
What do we talk about?
Family is very important, you know. Even the Bob, so bring the son to this at this time. And mine's a coincidence to see my granddaughter here. You know, he has beautiful kids. And always we discussed about family, respect to family each other's.
No, it's wonderful to have Julian here. I hope he's having a good time.
Yes.
Although we had to make sure he's not on your whirlwind schedule, that he could come through Vietnam more relaxed.
He wants the real Vietnam. He wants
You know,
to see the
don't give
streets.
it to spoil.
No, one of my children also works at the restaurant with Nobu in New York City. He a little bit, and it's very helpful for him.
That's great to hear. And Meir, you sound like you're encamped in Malibu. You know, when we got to visit you last summer.
I live there for over 30 years now, and I love the community. I love, of course, living on the beach. It's very nice to get up in the morning and look at the ocean, and I like it. And of course, the restaurant is 5 minutes from my house, and it's our actually #1 restaurant in the world. Yeah, became, which, you know, because again, you know, people don't know that how much Bob has a good feel for places, locations, because I used to travel a lot, and we used to kind of look at things all the time, and when we saw some good idea, he wanted to bring it. So when there was this idea to open a restaurant in Malibu. It's a small town. It's like only maybe busy in the summertime. And Bob said, "No, I like it. It's good. It's good." He can remember. You really believed in it. Okay, so we were in a small location in the beginning, in the shopping mall. We didn't do a lot of business, but when Larry Ellison bought a property on the beach And he loves Japanese culture, he loves Japanese food, and so he called me, he said, I want to move Nobu from where you are to the beach. And that's how, and it's I think it's the location made it really what it is. The food was always good, but we didn't have the exposure.
Also, special service also very good.
Yeah.
Now today, if you go up to Malibu, that's the first people. Are you going to eat at the Nobu? You know, so.
I mean, I get, in the middle of the night, I'm in Vietnam, I get calls, I need a table, I need a table, I need a table, you get me a table. So I do it because they don't know where I am. They think I'm in Malibu and I can do it. But it's okay. But it's fun. I'm very happy to help.
I know, you guys are the highest class table bookers I've ever met.
Somebody call you, make reservations.
From time to time, yeah.
Yeah, Bob, when he comes to LA, he can stay in any place he wants to, but he always stays in Malibu, right? That's and the reason is because he likes.
No, I'm asking to Bob. Somebody call Bob, make reservation. The Nobu.
I've done that. I called you a couple of weeks ago about somebody who couldn't get in New York, and there were nice people. They have restaurants themselves, and we were told in New York not to. But then I called you, and I hooked you up, and you set it
You
up
should
right
call.
away.
And Bob, I need a reservation for my friend.
But no, it's
Right,
sometimes.
You've had the most experience among everybody because we've been working together and traveling back and forth. What is it that you love about Vietnam, about Da Nang, about just your experience so far, and what you think Nobu will bring to this marketplace?
I think, I just think that naturally, when I came to Vietnam, it's, it has a lot of history naturally, and from our perspective, it was going in the right. When we did for our first project in Asia to do our hotel and residences, it was really going into the right country, and we looked at we looked at it several times, and we said, look, we think that Nobu will do well here, but like it was all about partners, and as I say, you inspired us to come here, but I think Nobu will do exactly the same it's done everywhere else. Yeah. And like I say, the employees, there's a professional pride. We want our employees to feel great working for Nobu. And then at the same time, we can maybe say, look, there's a future in Nobu. You don't have to stay in Vietnam. You can go to other countries and vice versa. And we want to bring new talent to Vietnam. So, I think I think the potential in Vietnam is huge.
Now, working with Trevor, I've always said, look, I'm super proud to be a partner with Nobu here in Vietnam, and obviously learning from all the great things you've done, learning about the DNA of what Nobu is, Kokoro, this truly authentic and accessible, simple, elegant, luxurious experience, whether it's a residence, whether it's the hotel, whether it's the restaurant. We're trying to bring that to life here. And we really want, obviously, people here to experience that. This is a wonderful place to have one because there's so many tourists from around the region, and that obviously is tremendous to have Nobu on our property, because whether you're coming from Singapore, Japan, Korea, people know and expect something from Nobu.
I was telling Trevor in the car, because somebody asked me in one of the interview, why you are in the residence business? Hotel, okay, you know Nobu, why resident? And I figured it out. People like brands. Yeah. That's why they go to the brand stores. Yeah. I've seen a girl somewhere in the airport, and she had a T-shirt. It said Armani. So, okay, I know I like Armani, but have it the name. I saw another girl sitting behind us, Gucci. Not only it's on the label, not it's the symbol, but it's a whole. People like brand. That's why the Four Seasons, the Ritz-Carlton, they all do residential, because people have confidence when they buy. So I rather pay more for a Nobu resident than buy a condo in the Bristol or the Empire, they pick up names, whatever. So it's because people like the brands and they trust the brand and they have heard of
the brand delivers.
And the brand delivers, exactly, of course.
That's the one word we meant, trust.
Yeah,
That's what you
they
need.
trust our brand and
Nobu t-shirts.
yeah.
Baseball caps. Yeah.
But also, to stand the test of time for 30 years, we had our conference and we were saying the one thing that we can't be is complacent.
That's right.
Because once complacency sets in and you take yourself for granted, then it's a downward spiral.
And it all happened naturally. It wasn't like we had a plan, how to promote, how to, it just happened naturally, slowly, and we travel around the world, we do the same kind of interviews and press conferences and everything, we promote, but that's what we do, that's all. We never advertise, and it's word of mouth.
I look at different brands, and I always look at Hermes. I look at the brand Lavazza, which is a coffee brand that's been around since 1895. And the reason why those brands are number one is because they remained family. They didn't sell to a corporation, or they were not taken over by a big, huge corporation. It was maintained by the same family.
So Bob, this is your second trip to Vietnam. What, 28 years? Is that right?
Yeah,
In
28
between.
years,
So what's your impression now versus then? What's changed? What is it that you find intriguing or about Vietnam?
It's changed. What I've seen has changed tremendously. And there was an article I read in the New York Times in the magazine section about how it's changed. Maybe 6-8 years ago I read it, and I was aware of things changing. But being here, I see how much. It's great. It's just terrific.
So good to have you back here. I have to tell you, I've been getting texts and calls. Can I meet Bob? Can I meet Bob? And I was like, don't worry, I'm going to convince him to come back.
Yeah, no, I would love to come back. We will come back. Especially, we'll definitely for the opening and all that. Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Chef Nobu, your first trip here to Vietnam. What's your impressions?
I was in London, then I never been to Vietnam before. First time I came. And I was thinking in the Ho Chi Minh, like Saigon, exactly same feeling. And also, I know a lot of Vietnamese people so nice, though. And especially ladies, very soft too, right? And then next time, this time not enough to see the product. So next time I like to go to more market and more like a local restaurants. And I like to see the more city. So first times I cannot find, even I cannot judge how it's good. No, but sure I like to coming back as soon as possible. So see the more local product, local market.
Well, I know we have on the schedule later this afternoon when it gets a little cooler. We're going to be staying down near Hoi An, which is an old, actually, the origins of it is it's a Japanese fishing village. So there was a lot of trade between Japan and Vietnam, and a lot of seafood and fisheries going on there. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy walking around Hoi An.
Also, best way I like to talk to like a fisherman too.
Yeah, Meir, what's your impressions so far?
Well, my impression from just being here, today is the second day. I think for me is I like the people here. They're very kind, they're very nice. It just has a good feel. Even on stage when a girl talk, I don't understand what they're saying but there's a certain charm and a certain friendly.
Genuine.
Yeah, genuine. Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. Well,
So that's my impression so far. I haven't seen anything besides from the hotel to the airport.
so the marketing slogan for Vietnam tourism is the hidden charm. So I think now with Nobu showing up, we're going to make it the obvious charm.
Yeah, but for me the charm is sometimes more important than the place.
favorite Vietnamese dish or cuisine?
Noodles.
Noodles, yeah. Pho noodles, all sorts of noodles, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like the soup noodles and
So you know what? Just like everywhere, just like ramen, every part of Vietnam has its specialties. Here in the central, we have a noodle called mì Quảng. And so when you're in Hoi An, we're gonna make sure you get to try some of that.
as soon as I came into the hotel yesterday, bowl of noodle, I wanted the local.
Bob, what's your experience with Vietnamese food? What do you like?
Well, it was good last night, and I look forward to today. And I look at Hoi An, going and see what we have. I haven't had much experience in Vietnamese restaurants in the States. Who was telling me about a place we went to?
But you've tried probably pho noodles, right? The classic tradition pho noodle soup.
Yeah, no, it's terrific. But I'm looking forward to more because I know that they're.
You know, the other sort of well-known food out of Vietnam is our baguettes. So the baguettes, the banh mi, are basically French baguettes, but instead of just butter, etc., and ham, we had our own sort of cold cuts. We made our own pâtés, and then we just added all of our sort of own pickled carrots and daikon and cilantro, and that's kind of our version of, you know, a ham and cheese sandwich.
You know, and also like fresh rice paper, the spring roll, right? So they say I got idea from them. So that's very kind of my signature dishes. All the vegetable like cucumbers, asparagus, carrot, shishito leaf, and like a daikon sprouts. So make, and with the sauce is a sesame miso sauce. So make, instead of the rice paper, I do seaweed. Yes. So this is called people like at beginning eat, you know, already sauce, no dipping anything, just by it. And Vietnam is make roll rice paper, right? And make wet then. But I do like the seaweed. So kind of inspired me to from China and Vietnam. I am already Nobu style Vietnamese.
So I'm
food.
looking forward to when we start, you know, training up our kitchen staff, and you're going to come and help us think about some great local dishes. That's great. Well, look, thank you, gentlemen. We can. I'm sure we could sit here, but I want to show you the rest of the experience center here, and then. Well, maybe later tonight over either Vietnamese rice wine, sake, or maybe some scotch and cigars. We'll keep our conversation going. Thanks again.
Okay.
I have a reservation. What we